Alright, man. Back again. And today, I'm gonna be addressing the issue with one of the cars. It's been pretty big since I've owned it. Didn't really bother me at the time, I guess, but yeah, just continuously driving it is, at this point, it has to be addressed. So, um, it's gonna be with the Evo. So the Evo, since I got it, just has like a giant hole in the radio or the dashboard. I mean, probably seen it in like a POV drive or something, but just a hollow hole. Out to Crutchfield. I know people have probably been doing stuff with them for I don't know how many years, because I've seen them pop up in forums talking about radios and double Ds and installs and all that stuff. So Crutchfield has been out for a while, and they made it real easy to actually get all the stuff that I need to install into here. Let's clean off our workbench table and then set everything up, and then we can get started on probably, I don't know, no time at all. Crutchfield made it easy. So let me set this up real quick. Now that we have this mostly cleaned up, I mean, it's not the greatest. Gonna wipe it down some so that, it don't get a bunch of oil and shit all on the radio and whatever parts are needed. And then from there, we can just go ahead and get started with setting all this stuff up. Like I said, Crutchfield made this like super easy, so we shouldn't have too many hiccups, if any hiccups at all when installing this. So when we wipe this down, then start setting everything up. We can look at, everything unboxed and then go from there. All right, so everything is pretty clean. I mean, it's a plastic table, so it's only gonna get so clean with all the oil and grease and whatever gunk went on there. So I ended up going with a cheaper Pioneer radio. If you use Crutchfield's like comparison website to compare this with, I think there's another Pioneer radio that was like $150 more. Some radios that were like $250 more. Maybe and like a JVC and a Jensen, or maybe a Kenwood. They all have the same thing. It's literally the same technology. I think the only difference with this one, actually not even. I thought this one only had 250 watt channels. This one also has 450 watt channels. So there really wasn't a difference between this and all the other ones. Probably just like the UI or something. But it was a pretty cheap head unit. It's also a double DIN. That was very much key. Still want to have some touchscreen functionality, and also have capability of Android audio. Like, that was pretty big. So it does all that. It's still a double DIN. And like I said, it was pretty cheap. I think this one was, I got it like $300. So it should be pretty good. But here's the actual head unit. So alright, I really don't like splicing it to the any of the OEM harness, because then if you want to do something down the line, or somebody else needs to do something, then it's pretty much a big pain in the ass to actually do anything. So I got this. This is pretty much like a harness extension. These are going to connect to the actual radio's harness, and then this is going to plug into the actual OEM harness. And the nice thing about this, I think this is from Metra, which is the same company that also provided the double DIN, like a conversion, which I don't need any of the double DIN conversion stuff. It looks decent, I guess. I ended up going with that strictly for these. These are what's going to be used to mount the double DIN inside of the actual dashboard. These are, just the mounting brackets. They're plastic, which is kind of weird. You know, I wasn't expecting. I was expecting, you know, some aluminum or something, but hopefully, fingers crossed, everything works out with that. But like I said, Metra provided the brackets, the double dash conversion kit, and the actual harness, which is all labeled, which is very, very cool. So in theory, all of this should match completely up with the OEM harness. I'm still gonna double check everything. I double checked some of the stuff, but I want to double check and make sure that everything is aligned properly, and I don't have to like crisscross wires or some shit. So we got that harness, and then a bunch of other cables like the microphone. Probably gonna use this. I very rarely ever use like I don't know, Android voice. I don't know. I never use it, so I don't know if I want to install this, but have it as an option. Some RCA cables. This is for the USB to go into the back of here, so you can plug in your USB and do Android Auto from, you know, a wire connection. I believe this is the antenna for the radio, so we can have decent DPS and rear camera. Aux in. I don't know what that's for, but it's there if you need it. And then we have some bolts for locking. And then we have a little remote, so then we can control everything. Whatever you want to say. So that's all that. Let's take off this. Let's also have the instruction manual for the Pioneer head unit, so we can check our connections before installing, and then go from there. All right, so looking on here, we got you know, kind of the color coding for all the wires on this actual harness. You can see most of it, well, or a lot of it matches. It all matches what is here. I was referencing here, and I was also referencing, if you actually look on there, you can see, you know, it's labeled pretty nicely. First thing that I want to do is mount this up, which is this is for the GPS signal. So I'm just gonna put it right there on the dash, and hopefully, you know, don't have any issues. I don't want to rip this off, because if I rip it off and it's not tape, I'm gonna be a little upset. Well, that was a fail. So we're gonna put that back on. And do I have some Velcro somewhere? I think I got a Velcro somewhere. I'm just gonna run this like right here, and then go through the little hole that I already made for all of the gauges right in there. Drop it down, and then it should just slide up right into here. So let me do that. All right, so this is what I got so far. This I'm gonna leave right here in the middle. I'm gonna tuck this one like all the way back there behind the dashboard. Then this is a microphone. I'm gonna put probably right here. I think if this, sheesh. Hold on. Microphone here. Run this up through the A-pillar. GPS stuff sitting right there, and we should be good for that. So now we have to go tie in the wires from the Metra harness and the Pioneer harness. One thing that I'm really like, I don't want to say appalled, or I guess amazed is the word. This car has so many just like open connections. I have no idea what they go to, and it still just runs. Like, I'm so confused. I don't even know what this goes to. It's like a red and green wire. Yeah, I just don't know. And there's always something that I find that's just connected, and just runs. You know, I don't really have any issues with this car, besides, you know, blowing a head gasket ages ago. But other than that, like, this car just it drives. So go pretty well, I think. So the thing about, oh, I actually thought this harness was spliced already. So it looks like Pioneer, they don't splice any of the speaker wires. But first thing first, let's go ahead and put a terminal on that ground so that we can have a properly fitted ground. So this blue one, and that fits pretty well, as we can see. And this wire is kind of, yeah, this is kind of big though. Is there like a smaller, like one of the reds maybe? Yeah, the red probably would work better, but I don't have any big reds. All right, so figured out the ground terminal. That should be fine. Now all we have to do is start splicing all these wires together. I believe this orange and white one is the actual like switched illumination or illumination dash light. So we're gonna put those together and then start splicing these other speaker wires so that they will match up correctly with this. So let's get the cutting. One thing that I did just find pretty interesting was I'm looking at this, and this antenna wire, I have no idea where it goes. There's a connection for it inside of the Evo, which is fine, but on here I'm not, like, I don't know where it's supposed to go. I don't know where that's supposed to go. I don't know what I'm supposed to wire that into, because the antenna plugs into its own like receiver somewhere on here. Yeah, GPS. So maybe that's just not supposed to be used, since the antenna already has its own like wire. So maybe I'll do this and then tape off this antenna wire, since it's going to be used as its own GPS antenna. All right, so got everything spliced together. It's not the best work, but I'm doing this in my garage, so it really doesn't matter. So everything's connected. I'm gonna connect the ground and then plug it in, and fingers crossed everything just works. We're gonna plug it in, hope for the best, and if that's not the case, then I don't know what we're gonna do. Let me connect this GPS crap too, just to see if it's gonna work. Connect this, connect this mic, and then all we do now is connect this to this and hope that everything works when I put the key in. I know the speakers in the rear aren't connected. I think I could just re-splice the wires and everything will be fine, but we'll see. Oh, sheesh. So how? Oh, okay. I thought I broke the connector. That's how you get the pins out the connector. Oh my gosh. I thought, listen, I thought that connector broke. I was gonna be so heated. But yeah, I mean, just set it up like this. And then we're gonna see together if this thing turns on when I put the key in. So fingers crossed, everything is gonna look fine. Hey, I think the speakers are shot. That sucks for sure. That sucks so much. Yeah, the music is playing for sure, but let me double check and make sure. Gonna move around the wires a little bit. Yeah. Well, that sucks pretty bad. So now the car's gonna need a bunch of new speakers, which I kind of feared was gonna be the next step. Yeah, that's annoying because it's definitely playing music. It just, you don't hear anything at all. Like there isn't even like a faint sound or anything. Nah. Actually, did I say Momo? A Momo tweeter? It's kind of crazy. So I wonder if this harness that I'm looking at was the harness that's supposed to go to the original tweeter or something, and that is aftermarket and doesn't work. I want to kind of do something dangerous. Okay, we can see where the speaker, like where you're supposed to connect the power and the ground to the speaker. Where are the wires? Oh, right here. And then here, the wires were somewhere, but I want to try to connect. That's so sad. I thought I was gonna have radio for this thing, but now I have to spend like $400 for a bunch of speakers. I completely forgot about copyright. Hopefully that didn't get picked up. Please don't ever do that. But you know, this is backyard diagnosis. So I connected 2 leads of the wires that were there just to, well, connect it. I literally just hooked them onto the legs of the speaker just to see if I can get some sound, and I got something. Now, the thing is, actually there isn't a thing. Hey, I got sound. The door speakers, toast probably, and yeah. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. See if I can get some sound, and if I can't, then probably just replace the back speakers and the rest of the other speakers. Actually, I'm probably gonna replace all the speakers in general, but I can at least ride around with just the back speakers and have some noise. But yes, that I love that so much. Let me hook those other ones up, see if those work, and then if those work, we'll be golden. So we have sound to both of your deck speakers. They were cut for whatever reason. I still don't know. The guy that I got it from told me that those speakers were cut and that those were like the newest speakers. So I'm pretty happy that they are working. What I had to do though was extend the wires, and for whatever reason Mitsubishi decided that the wires from the speaker to the actual deck. Well, the wires from the radio are a different color than the wires that are actually connected to the deck. So I think over there is like red and white, or red and white, and then red and blue for like positive and negative for one of the rear speakers, and then over here is like, I think over there is green and like purple, and then this is pink and blue, like swirled, and then a like a purple and white, or purple and something. I have no idea. Looked on some forums and assumed that the negatives are the darker colored wires. That seems to be doing fine with the speakers. Like they don't, I mean, they sound shitty, but I don't think it's because of the wires. I think it's just the speakers. So green is positive now for both sides, and then purple is negative on both sides. So that should be fine, and it should be easy to tell which wire is which whenever I go to replace these speakers, which I don't know when it's gonna happen, but for now, you can see some terminals connected there, and then some splices here to extend these wires. I'm probably gonna like put electrical tape on these just so, I don't know, any moisture or anything doesn't get on them. All right, so if you don't know, Evo, to take the door cars off, bolt here, bolt here. I don't know if this bolt is supposed to be covered. It looks like it should be covered. It's right there. There's a cover here. Take that off. This bolt, and then this bolt. And I think after those 4 bolts, it should just pop off. Not that bad. This looks disgusting though. So I guess that tweeter is like a Momo tweeter. This is a Momo speaker. It kind of makes sense because that was a pretty big theme about the Evo, was having Momo stuff. So it probably makes sense for this to not even have a connection on it, or actually for it to have a connection, but for it to be a bad connection. And I think that's what I'm feeling. I think the speaker is just bad. Oh, I don't really feel like taking everything apart, especially when I have to put it back together, and push come to shove, I'm gonna be taking it apart anyway so that I can replace the speaker at some point down the line. This up a little bit. See, this is how it's gonna be ran. This, I still have to get some Velcro or something to tie that down, so I'm probably gonna have to end up going to AutoZone. Well, I don't know if you've seen that. Probably gonna have to end up going to AutoZone because I don't think I can find my Velcro. I don't think I have Velcro, so I'll just go get some Velcro for that. Most of the stuff is pretty much electrical taped. Had to double check some of the wires because some of the crimps apparently were not the greatest. But I gave every wire a pretty good tug. I think everything is fine. After the first one came out, I did like some tugs on all of them, and then another one came out, so that was the only one. Let's hope that that is the only issue that we're gonna have. Let's work on mounting. Come on, you. There we go. Let's work on mounting these brackets up to the actual radio. So I'm gonna put just a hole here and a hole here, and then put it in there just to see if it actually, you know, mounts pretty good. If it does, then I'm just gonna leave it. If not, then I'm gonna have to use the top 2 holes, and then yeah, that's just gonna have to work. All right, so after fiddling around with this thing and taking this lower HVAC control unit, or trim, taking all the trim off so I can get up under here, I managed to like fit everything in here pretty good. And then here it is with the faceplate actually installed. Like I said, I think it looks pretty good. Here's the USB that I'm going to be using for this. I'm probably just gonna put it in here until it needs to be used. Like I said, man, it was a pretty seamless install because of all the stuff that Crutchfield provided with you know, the Metro harness and the instructions and everything. But it looks pretty good just sitting in there. Yeah, it's like angled. It's like angled this way, so you get like a weird gap here. And then this, I think because this isn't like a complete 7-inch, maybe like a 7.5. Maybe 7 1/4 would fill this out completely, but I mean, it's fine for what it is. Hello? Oh, okay, cool. The mic works. So yeah, like I said, man, I mean, it's a pretty good system so far. Yeah, there isn't any camera connected to it, so it shouldn't show anything. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about only being able to adjust volume here. I should have got a head unit with the actual volume control knobs because I'm so used to it. But I mean, it is what it is. Wrap up this install, man. Pretty easy, pretty seamless, and yeah, something sounds good. I'm already loving having a radio, so you know, if you want to keep seeing stuff like this, go ahead and subscribe. Like if you liked it. If you didn't, don't like it. And next time, well, I don't know what the next video is going to end up being. But next time, we're going to be doing something. I don't know. It may be replacing the speakers. It may be something else. So just stick with me, man. So, see y'all.